see what the postman brought today.
Barnes insists on delivering the books to our door, even though we could easily walk to his shop.
Local
That's good
gossip.
service.
All of it uninteresting. You were mistaken, Dr. Watson. The paper was indeed dirtied, but not how you implied. See, Watson? The conspiracy is real. Someone tried to poison me.
Poison? You? That's madness.
Get the strand. Sorry, miss.
Come now, Mr. Holmes. Murder? Yes, Barnes has his quirks, but he also has his scruples. Barnes doesn't seem like himself. Why is he acting this way?
You're asking the right questions, Doctor. Let's find a way to coax him out. An improvised stand, but it does make the flowers more visible. In the language of Mycroft's secret agents, it's a sign. Dried flowers are the finest view London has to offer. Encouraging people to stop and smell the roses?
Our national emblem. God
It
save
must
the
take
Queen.
patience and care to produce a bloom so beautiful.
I imagine so. I merely sell them.
I was. What do you
Mean any?
Why?
Are you?
It-
Oh.
I think perhaps I have been chasing shadows.
Do not despair, Mr. Holmes. Even the best of us make mistakes. We better tell Mr. Barnes what we've learned.
Miss. Come, Dr. Watson. Let us put this matter behind us.
Farewell, Mr. Barnes. Not much further now. Is this...
Looks like a shoe print, roughly size 11, with a worn-out sole. These are a workman chewing tobacco. Someone knelt here. The amount of chewing tobacco suggests they were waiting a while.
Amazing, Mr. Holmes. To read the ground like an open book.
Could have left. This lock is quite unusual. It appears that the key should be bent to the right. Someone moved a cart to this spot and then took it. Impressive. The sack of grain retained the shape of an impact. Someone hit their head here. These were sturdy boxes. It would have required a serious blow to break them. A scrap of Hessian. Clothes made of Hessian. No air coming through it. Button chops. The remains of a meal. The ashes are long since cold.
I'll
Surveilling from afar, the intruder waited for a window of opportunity. When Kimahir went to sleep, the man crept up to the shack and slipped narcotics down the chimney pipe, then blocked it with a cloth. Kimahir inhaled the sedative and fell into a deep sleep. The intruder tried to move him, but the man was heavier than expected. The intruder fell on the sack and dropped his spyglass. In order to transport the servant, he had to use the cart. The final challenge was opening the garden door. Luckily for our intruder, Kimahir had the key in his shack.
Remarkable. It makes total sense. You...
Sturdy rope, professionally tied in a Portuguese bowline. This knot is often used by sailors. Wheels picked up grass. Here's cart again.
Well, it's odorless, but from the way it absorbs water, I'd say saltpeter.
Then we're in agreement. Well done. Useless after all. The saltpeter accident. Doctor, do you recall?
The Port of London, of course. The footwear, the spyglass.
Indeed. We shall need to take a cab there.
The coffee won't go away. The doctor's too pricey.
Oh, hardly a reputable
What can I get you?
establishment.
We shall.
shall take my leave.
What do you got?
Mr. Strange symbols. I don't recognize them. 5 shillings. That won't go far.
It appears... Really, Holmes, this ought to be beneath you.
As my brother would say, it is for the greater good. Well oiled and well maintained. Fit for a crank. A hidden passage, just as I expected. Wait, what's happening? What is this place? Where am I? Phew, I didn't die. My heart, be calm. This cannot have been under the port of London all along. Is it an illusion? Now I am It's harder to breathe here. Oh, no! Unspeakably revolting. Head is already spinning. When will this end? This Oh, that is truly...
What is it, Holmes?
Watson!
Holmes, where are you? Holmes. I hope we are close to finding our answers. This place is unsettling.
These clothes were crudely cut off someone. An American, judging by the style. Someone used fine rope work, cut by a finer blade. Cyanosis of the lips, marks on the neck. This man was strangled. His abdomen is severely bloated. It seems made for simple experiments. I wager they could not afford a better set. What on earth? Looks like the scribbling of madmen. The strength it would take to carry this crate, let alone break it. Deep scratches left. A small bloodstain, but not serious. These clothes are missing buttons. They were forcefully removed. Dumpra, a staple of lecturemen's attire in Nepal, gathered from dozens of people at the very least. Many people were brought to this place. Their abductors stripped off their clothes and discarded them in a pile. The prisoners were kept in a soporific trance by the use of narcotics. A few tried to resist, but alas, in vain. After a few days, everyone was stuffed in a crate and sent elsewhere. Only one captive was left behind. He was strangled to death on this altar. Dr. Watson.
Yeah. What seems to...
No way I can get past him without being noticed. There's the guest room. I wonder if Watson was able to speak to Gygax. Locked. I suppose the reception will be guarded anyway.
My heart is pierced by Cupid. I disdain all glittering gold. There is nothing can console me but my jolly sailor bold.
Tubes of varying diameters. Interesting. Looks like it's still operational. Cooking grease. Is this the kitchen dumbwaiter? This should be enough to avoid unwanted attention, at least from a distance.
Go away!
I doubt that one could survive such a journey with this little water. The kidnappers even provided airflow. How generous. Dirt and sweat. They were locked in here for days, judging by the smell. This trip was prolonged and perilous. A bottle this sturdy doesn't break by accident. Substantial blood loss. One poor soul found another way out. The doors can be opened for deliveries. The carriages were back through these doors, and they began to unload their cargo in secret. Next, the crates were opened, freeing their passengers. Not everyone survived the journey. The dirty, exhausted, and dehydrated prisoners were then herded into cells. But all the cells are now empty, and I have not located a morgue. Time to find Hell's Door. Scratches. Something has been moved through here. This seems to be a locking mechanism. The whole thing must be a door. Will, how is she? Heidi.
Vertagen. Fingblumen, Magnafa, Cthulhu, Rile, Magnafa, Vertagen.
The light of the abyss is the light from the abyss. Ugh. Get out of my head. A hydraulic elevator? How ingenious. No traces of blood on her clothes. Must have got on her white overcoat. The pencil is buried deep all the way to the brain. Instant death. The patients here wear the same robes.
We'd better inform the local police about this.
You're right, Watson. But first, we need to determine where our case goes next.
Good Lord, what have you done? That's my stuff.
I'm sorry, mister.
Mr.
Oh, who?
Frank Barnaby, most likely a local.
And you think Mr. Barnaby will be happy to share his invitation?
Let us first find him, then we can see if he is the generous type.
How marvelous, Holmes. A city within a city.
Indeed, rather unassuming for a jewelry store.
Damn, he at it again. Barnaby still owes you. If he can't pay in greenbacks, he'll pay in blood.
May I ask you something?
I'm bone tired, but yeah, I'll help you.
This place has a Spartan charm, does it not?
It does. My soul will always yearn for London's gloom, but Barnaby, unconscious but with his eyes open. Look, Watson, the two of you are just alike.
Oh, great. So I look like a haggard alcoholic.
Eureka!
What have you got?
An idea. First, we'll need Mr. Barnaby's
America,
clothes.
Holmes. 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 Must we really indulge in this farce?
It worked in Switzerland, didn't it?
Sure, if you redefine the word worked.
Where's the money, Barnaby?
I'll wait here so as not to arouse suspicion.
Heavens, I never seen gems so big.
I simply must have.
The sheriff saw right through me. He knew who I was from the start. Extorted me for every coin I had.
Bah, all that matters is what you learned about the gems.
I shan't discuss it while still wearing that blighter's clothes. Oh,
This Mr. Barnaby is proving rather useful. Perhaps you're not so different after all.
one more word, Holmes, and I'll hand you over to the sheriff.
Sorry, was that John talking or Frank?
Go annoy someone else while I visit the nymph.
Ah, forgive me, Watson. The difference is plain as day. What a remarkable transformation from Barnaby.
Could you help me?
That's not something I...
Help me, please.
I'm bone tired, but yes, I'll help you. Got a spot in mind?
You know, Watson, the Opulent mansions and stifling heat remind me of my time in the Mediterranean.
Cordona does sound rather magical. Do you think you shall ever return?
I don't know. That place was home to some of my greatest memories and some of my lowest moments. Excuse me. I rather wish my lockpicks had not been lost in the river.
Along with all our clothes, books, tea.
This must be the key to the... Look, Watson. Animal prints. I wonder what kind. These fingers were severed with a single clean stroke, but I don't see the thumb or middle finger.
Ah! Do you smell that, Holmes? Something bad happened here.
I know. Be prepared for anything. A few drops of blood, but not from a mortal wound. Note the blade, Watson.
A curved dagger, probably of Persian or Indian origin. 9 or 10 inches, I'd say.
Watson.
I'll do my best. Hay on his trousers suggests a gardener or groom. The hand can bend freely, rigor mortis has passed. A deep stab reached the man's heart. Clean edges suggest a sharp blade, but the wound is too wide for an ordinary knife. His corneas are already clouded. This man has been dead for a week. The result of a sharp object piercing his
Make
heart.
it quick. You are mostly right. But I would bet he died 5 days ago. Heat and humidity will have accepted. Someone was bleeding, but it doesn't look lethal. Burnt papers, now completely unreadable. Someone smaller walked over these boot prints. The candle was burning when it fell. A trail of wax leads to the door. I will need your help one more time, Doctor.
An enormous blow shattered her ribcage. Blooded, broken nails. The poor woman tried to put up a fight. A wound like this could only be dealt by a man of incredible strength.
And cruelty. A used kitchen towel. Tea for two. An odd glimpse of normalcy amid the horror. An intruder entered through the back door at night, leaving mud traces in the hallway. Without being noticed, they picked up a candlestick and struck the man in the chair from behind. In the kitchen, two people were drinking tea, the workman and cook. They were startled by the noise of a falling body and went to investigate the parlor. The workman tried to subdue the intruder, but was stabbed by the attacker's knife. Judging by the wound, it was a curved blade. The cook panicked and fled back to the kitchen. The intruder followed, but since their blade was stuck in the workman, they used the meat cleaver on the table to kill her. Someone smaller arrived and discovered the carnage. They dropped the candlestick in horror and ran for safety to a room down the hallway. Meanwhile, the intruder returned to his first victim and dragged their stunned body away from the fireplace and out into the garden. Poor Eula requires medical examination. Be swift, Watson.
Ligature marks on her neck. There'll be a bruise, but she should be okay.
Doctor? Watson, speak to me. How is she? Let's take a closer look. These should come in handy.
innocent slaughtered, a woman lynched, a boy forever traumatized. I fear we've crossed the Rubicon, Holmes.
Davy is resilient, much like Eula. He will overcome this.
You're right, but I worry this portends far worse for us. What have we got ourselves into, Holmes?
Loose.
What do well, what do you...
The map.
It's... If...
Hello.
Holmes, do you believe the sheriff? That we won't escape?
One cannot be hurt by superstitions.
Look, Holmes, fireflies!
You're rowing like a professional, Watson.
University of London Boat Club. Silver medalist, 1874. What was that, Holmes?
Whatever, or whoever it was, we should ready ourselves. Am I hearing drums?
Drums in the bayou? Holmes, I think I heard something swim underneath our boat.
Probably just a rotten log.
Did you hear that, Holmes? What do you see?
A shadow. Nothing more.
If you told me when I binned your paper that we'd end up fleeing the law in a rowboat through the Louisiana Bayou...
I dare say you would have hardly been surprised. The air is getting thicker, almost suffocating.
The stench of death. All too familiar now.
Watson, stay calm, but be quick. An alligator has noticed us. That's nature, Watson. Let's try not to annoy them. That pier looks promising over there, Watson.
We're approaching the heart of darkness. This place gives me the shivers, despite the muggy night.
A heavy weight scored impressions in the ground 1 inch deep. Days old and rotten. Damp and mouldy hay. The prisoners were kept like animals, slowly deteriorating under the wood is swamp cypress, endemic to the area. The initials EA are embroidered with silk thread. The prisoners' clothes tossed aside. Bowls filled with blood. The bloody handprint on this stone lacks 4 fingers. Sunken heels, the result of dragging a heavy body. The victim's left hand clawed at the soil. Ugh, the smell of burning flesh, just horrific.
Keep away from it, focus on our task,
The
so we
tracks
may
leave
soon
behind
leave all
the
this
st- Only
behind.
this indentation was spared from blood. Arneson was held captive in this cage until his abductors tied him to a cross and dragged him to the bonfire. Arneson was left hanging here for a while before being freed and led to the altar. At the altar, Arneson's captors performed a ritual on him and poured blood over his head. With Arneson now prepared, he was escorted to the sealed entrance. They used the mechanism with an indentation to open the passage. Heavy and covered in blood.
Darn it. Something is wrong with my lantern. Give me a minute.
I won't wait for you. I'm going in. What's happening? Deja vu, and not in a pleasant way. And now, axes? What on earth for? Now it is glowing, but why? There's that glow again. Johnson! I hope that was all. I can't take any more.
At last, the lantern's working again. Holmes, I'm coming. Holmes? I should examine. Please tell me there are no wheels inside, Arneson. Severed fingers, the wounds are inflamed. Cold sweat. 2, no, 3 ribs fractured. Pulse is racing, 110 beats a minute. Blunt trauma to the cranium, dilated pupils, lips moving without a sound. Arneson is delirious after all he's endured. We can't get him to the boat in a state like that. It's dangerous to us and him. Odorless, watery, and hard to identify. Pharmacopoeia, listing drugs, effects, and directions for use. This is Dwale, induces sleep and relaxation. Salvia divinorum, provokes visual hallucinations. Should help soothe Arneson.
I need some fresh air.
Yes, please go. I'll be right behind you with Arneson. Perhaps you can prepare the boat.
Another sinking.
Doctor?
Holmes, look. There's a body here.
Not
Body's
just
the
any
soft
body,
touch.
it's
He
Ashman.
died recently.
The infamous curved dagger. It's tied firmly to his hand. A broken chain. Something was attached to the end. Scratches, bruises, and stabs, all self-inflicted. Oh, his eyes are gouged out.
His body succumbed to all those wounds.
This branch was recently broken. The wood is still green. A human-sized imprint. Someone fell on their back. Whatever Ashmat had secured to his chain, he lost it here.
What drove him to this dreadful act?
I fear we are about to see for ourselves. Fresh marks, something scraped along the stone. Ouroboros, a snake eating itself. An ancient symbol of eternal renewal. This door requires a very specific key, and we already have it. This vessel is covered in dried blood.
Oh, I get it. We need fresh blood. And no, I'm not volunteering.
Fear not. I think Ashmat can help.
Do you... Fine. Take my flask. The lever doesn't want to stay on its own.
Look around. Must be something we can use. Those holes seem to have a purpose, but I won't risk my arm to find out what. Be ready for anything, Watson. It's all right, Watson. It's merely a chest with coins and a dagger, made of obsidian by the looks of it. Look around. Use these with care. Let us be the first adventurers to raid a tomb without destroying it. Terrific.
Careful, Holmes.
They are all entranced, captivated by the light of the lens.
Sherlock, don't touch it. We still don't know what it is capable of.
The base appears to rotate.
Hands off, Holmes. We have no idea of its purpose.
They modified the gallery and watchroom. It seems they have placed beam emitters all over the main gallery. Khalid lenses are placed inside the lantern room. One moment, Watson. I'll redraw this blueprint.
Look. It's completely broken. Something is missing here. Interesting. This could prove useful.